Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished international guests, filmmakers and film lovers, welcome to this very prestigious night, the Golden Icon Award. Es grüßt Sie als Schweizer Publikum, sehr verehrte Damen und Herren, herzlich willkommen zum Golden Icon Award. Zu Beginn gleich ein großes Dankeschön an unseren Main-Partner Credit Suisse, der diesen Abend möglich macht. The Golden Icon Awards is Zurich Film Festival's most prestigious award in recognition of the lifetime achievements of an actress or an actor. The list of past winners is absolutely stellar and includes the likes of Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, Richard Gere, and Sean Penn, just to name a few. This year we have the honor to award an American actress who has the ability to captivate audiences like hardly any other. Icon Sharon Stone has conquered the big screen with her irresistible charm, great human depth, and acting versatility. And today she can add to her already stellar list of awards, Academy Award nomination, Golden Globe, and Emmy Awards, the Golden Icon Award. And we are deeply honored that she's gracing the Zurich Film Festival. And if I'm not mistaken, I think she's entered the building. Give her a warm round of Swiss applause. Golden Icon recipient 2021, Sharon Stone! Looking absolutely stunning. Welcome to Zurich, Sharon Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear Sharon Stone, one of the coolest emails I got in a very long time was from Sharon Stone. We offered her to accept our Golden Icon Award, and she very quickly and spontaneously answered, saying thank you for that honor. And in her signature was this quote by Voltaire: "The most important decision you have to make is to be in a good mood." Well, I was definitely in a good mood, since I knew that Sharon would come to Zurich, because she's a true icon of the seventh art. But to be honest, I was also quite nervous, because I imagine her to be unpredictable in the best possible way. For me, she's an actress Hitchcock would have loved: mysterious, sometimes dangerous, and smarter than any man. An actress who embodies the Hollywood glamour of earlier years, a true siren of the screen, but also an elegant, charismatic, and, forgive me, my wife is in the theater, also breathtakingly beautiful star. I mean, have you seen her on the green carpet before? This was a spectacular of femininity like we have never seen it before here at the festival. Thank you so much, Sharon, for that. When Martin Scorsese cast her in Casino, he believed he was facing one of the great divas of classic Hollywood. In the gangster epic that we're about to see this evening, Stone embodies the faithful lover of casino manager Sam Ace Rothstein, who is played by Robert De Niro. There has never been a stronger female figure in a Scorsese movie. The role brought Sharon Stone a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination. But she was already a star before that. Who doesn't remember her as Catherine Tramell in Basic Instinct, the femme fatale with the ice pick? I saw Paul Verhoeven's film, which marked her breakthrough in 1992 at the Thalgarten Cinema in my hometown Winterthur, while I was still at high school. And boy, my heart was beating out of my chest. She certainly put the fear of God into the guys on and off the cinema screen. In an era dominated by male stars, Sharon Stone was one of the first female superstars, and she did a lot for women in Hollywood. She asked for women dresser, head of departments, and became a role model for many actresses in Hollywood. And that is also one of the reasons why we would want to celebrate her tonight. And by the way, this is the 5th time in a row that the Golden Icon Award goes to an actress. I fear next year we have to do something for the male stars. In her recently published memoir, The Beauty of Living Twice, a relentlessly frank and immensely powerful book, she gets even with the Hollywood of the time. Many people ask me what it was like in my days of being a superstar, it says at one point. It was like this: play ball or get off the field, girl. Stone didn't leave the field to others, nor did she let anybody pull the wool over her eyes. She has an IQ of 154, which means only one thing: she is highly gifted. She has also exercised her brain power in the producer's chair, producing, in example, Sam Raimi's wonderful The Quick and the Dead, a feminist western now some 25 years old, but truly way ahead of its time. Sharon Stone is an immensely versatile and gifted actress. When Australian director Bruce Beresford shot the film Last Dance with her in 1996, he could hardly believe how Stone had mastered the technique of acting. Not only could she cry on demand, she could, if required, produce a tear in one eye only, either the left or the right, and make it roll down her cheek right on cue in take after take. I hope that she will now shed a few tears of happiness as she accepts our Golden Icon Award. But before we call her on stage, let's have a look at the tribute reel.
Have you ever fucked on cocaine?
Do whatever you want. Do I keep my promises or do I keep my promises?
And that is why that Dr. Hanover, or whatever he's calling himself these days, must die. No, I'd never do anything to hurt you. I want you to come back to me.
Bullshit.
So I suggest that you get it together and do your goddamn job. I'd have to be pretty stupid to write a book about killing and then kill somebody the way I described it in my book. I'd be announcing myself as the killer. I'm not stupid.
Please welcome on stage Sharon Stone. Icon Award. Thank you very much for your films and all you did for cinema.
It's really something to see your life go by on film. To see your whole childhood and middle age and aging all happen before you. It's quite wonderful, really. It really is a lifetime of wonderful experiences and extraordinary friendships and amazing travel and extraordinary artistic moments. And I never get over that feeling when we drive on set and the grips and the crew are unloading the trucks. And I always think the same thing. Oh, look, it's the Army for hippies. And we don't get a call like, come to work at 5 o'clock. We get calls that say, come to work at 5:03, 7:19. Our calls are very precise, and our departments are very precise. Hair and makeup does this, grips do that, lighting does this, and you don't get in each other's space. But if we see another person struggling, we say, may I help you? There's something very Zen about this. There's something that provides a great opportunity to learn how to live in the way that we live at work. Because we arrive and we get a new family. We're going to be with our family, sometimes for 4 weeks, sometimes for 5 months. And we're a family, we're a team. We don't have to like each other, but we have to love each other. And it's very important for what we do, because if we don't function like a team, we fail. And in my lifetime in this job, that's the thing I've learned to do. I've learned to love my team. And I do love my team. And I've learned to love the opportunities that I have to go and be with a whole new group of people that I know I'm going to get to love. This has been an extraordinary lesson for me, on screen and off. It's a lesson that's taken me to my humanitarian work. It's a lesson that's taken me to meet people all over the world, people that I would never know. It's taken me to war zones. It's taken me to hospitals and hospices, orphanages, and laboratories, places where I might not think that I could ever know what I should do. Places that were overcrowded and underfed, places where people were starving, places where people were desperate, places where people were devastated, places where I really had no idea what I should do. But I kept my same understanding that I was walking a certain life, a life that film had taught me to live. I didn't have to like you. I didn't have to know you. I didn't even have to understand you. But if I loved you, it would all go much better for me. And it has. That's why I feel safe in this room tonight, because I know we're in it together. And for that, I can only say thank you. I can only say thank you to cinema. Thank you to you here in Zurich, because you don't know me, but you've decided to love me. Given that, I would like to ask you to do that to everyone that you don't know, that you don't understand, that you may not even like, because that is what you taught me. At any time, anywhere in my entire life. And if this is my lifetime achievement, I owe it to you. Thank you.
Sharon, that was a wonderful moment and a very powerful speech, very powerful thank you speech. Whew. I love it. There's so much laughter and tears and all together, so much love in this room. Looking at your incredible body of work was a lot of fun, right? As you said, you don't often get to do and see many of your films in such a short amount of time. Did anything stick out? Was there like a moment you like smiled and thought, oh, that was a heck of a good time?
I just kept thinking, oh my God, I did, and that. Oh, and that, oh, I forgot, right. You know, and I just kept thinking about all these different moments on set. Like when we did Total Recall, we had a 6.9 earthquake, and I was on the 39th floor of the hotel. I was like, oh yeah, and the earthquake. So there's all these different personal memories that come when I see all this stuff.
And that obviously is emotional. It's been almost 40 years, I think.
And in Basic Instinct, the scene in the bathroom stall where I kicked the door closed, Paul Verhoeven said to me, you can direct this scene. And I was like, oh, that's the only scene I've ever directed in a movie.
Oh my God, there must have been so many fun moments. Let's talk quickly about Casino, because our audience will get to have the pleasure of watching Casino tonight. Are you guys excited? Yeah! What an iconic film. How was it working with Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and playing Ginger?
You know, surprise, I really wanted that part. But they were going to see a lot of girls for the part. So when they started seeing girls, they saw a lot of showgirls. And they asked me to come in. And I said, I'm not coming in till you're done seeing showgirls. And then they said they wanted me to come in, and I thought, oh, I don't think they're going to take me seriously. So I said no, because I was so scared. I just kept saying no. And sometimes I think it's true, like men love to chase. I should say no more often, I get all the parts.
Well, we're glad that you eventually said yes. released a book, your memoirs, The Beauty of Living Twice, which I had the pleasure to read. And let me tell you, from page one, I was just captivated. It was such an intimate look into your life. Why was the time right now to tell your story? And I guess it's very intimate. Why did you decide to really open up so much?
You know, I wish that these were all cogent decisions, but I'm writing another book now, a fiction book, and it's kind of the same thing. It just tells me what to write. I kind of sit down and just write. I don't really, you know, I'm a natural blonde. So this is kind of what it is. I just sit down and write. It's like talking on the page. You know, I don't make a lot of big decisions.
What is that fiction book about? Can we know?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, The Beauty of Living Twice is very well written, and the fun thing, there's also an audio version of it where you speak the audio version. So for those of you who don't want to read but want to listen to that, there's that option too. You have done a lot of philanthropic work, been an activist for many, many years. We could talk about that for a very long time. How do you pick the right causes? How did they come to you in all these years?
Well, you know, I started working with people with AIDS because my neighbor on my street was a mother who got AIDS. When she was giving birth, she hemorrhaged, and she was given a blood transfusion, and she and her two kids, her twins, got AIDS. And so we started a pediatric AIDS, she started a pediatric AIDS foundation, and I worked with her very consistently. And then I got asked by the president of the Dominican Republic I was the only person he knew who was working on AIDS, if I would come to the Dominican Republic and just try to talk to anybody because it was such a crisis, and I did. And then I was at Cannes, and Elizabeth Taylor couldn't come. She was about 3 years in. She had started the American Foundation for AIDS Research and spoken before the Senate and Congress, and was the first person to really openly address AIDS. And the head, Matilda Krim, Dr. Krim, asked me if I could fill in for a night, which I did. And then at the end of the night, they asked me if I could come for 3 years and take Elizabeth's place. And I naively thought, this will be done in 3 years. And 3 years later, I realized I needed to make a commitment, a big commitment, which I did.
So you did. You will find out so many interesting things in that book, so I really urge you to get that book. Final question. I don't know if you do have a bucket list, but are there any things in life that are still dreams of yours that you'd like to fulfill, or things to experience, or places to go, people to meet?
I'm so grateful that I've survived, and I think many of us share this feeling now. I just want to see my kids grow up.
I'm sure you will. Thank you so much. Sharon Stone.